Hello, friends. Welcome to this episode of Heart to Heart with Institute. And I'm so excited, you may tell, because it's been a minute. But today, I'm happy to be back, and I've been doing it. I'm doing a series on my blog where I've been sharing on a lot. So definitely pop up to instituteplace.com to catch up on like all the latest posts that I've been sharing this year. But I think we're back with our podcast. Amen. So today it's quite an interesting one because, like I said, I'm doing a series on 10 years after university reflection. So it's 10 years already. You can believe that since I graduated from the university, I mean my bachelor's. And I've been reflecting not just for myself, but also my classmates from uni. And I've put the first post, a collation of the responses, which I did a research on my classmates, asking them to talk through how life has been, what they've learned, and, any, wins and the likes that they've had. And they've shared with me. I put in a blog post, so definitely go read that. But today, I'm doing a personal reflection. So this is why it is a heart-to-heart with Institute session. So it's a personal reflection on the last 10 years of living uni. I've been working for almost a decade now. So how has life been in general? What are things that I'm happy for? What are things that I think have worked for me? And this is just to, inspire someone out there, maybe a recent graduate is like, oh, what's life going to be in the next 10 years, especially as a woman and as someone who's big on building their career. So definitely this post is for you. Get your friends, grab a cup of tea or coffee, depending on the weather, or ice cream maybe, and let's dig in. So I have my notes here, so I'll be just looking through because I've got a lot to tell you. I'm going to try to keep it short, but we've done 2 minutes, so let's get to it. For me, I was the first graduate in my family. I was a girl. I didn't have my parents weren't working in corporate, so I didn't have a model in terms of what to expect with career. But the good part for me was I studied computer engineering, so I had knowledge in programming. I had, if you hear noise in the background, there's some people driving on the road, so please ignore. But I had a background I studied computer engineering and I've studied programming. I was coding as a C# web application developer. So I had that with me, even though I didn't know how everything was going to pan out. So yeah, I had volunteering experiences, of course. And now, as I look back, I just want to tell you this. So the first thing is, starting in tech was great. I'm not going to lie. Imagine working as a software developer 2015. Now, 2015 feels like a long time ago, but even then, tech was not as popular. You had a lot less women in tech, but tech was such a valuable skill, right? It was such a valuable skill, and I count it as a blessing. I'm going to give a big shout out to Dr. Yang, who motivated me to get into software engineering, because initially, no, I'm going to go do network, I'm going to do something else, but he motivated me. I did my internship with him, started building web applications, building databases then, and it really helped me. And fun fact, I got my first role a few months after leaving uni. So if you're listening to this in July of 2025, that'll be 10 years of me getting my first role in corporate. So imagine leaving uni and getting your first role almost immediately because of a valuable skill. So I'm saying this to say that if you're schooling and you're in tech, or you're considering going to tech, even now, it's not a bad idea, because tech is definitely a great place to be, right? And then something to note here too is that within tech itself, I've pivoted, right? So I started as a software developer. I've pivoted to product management, and I'm currently pivoting to probably delivery management, project management in terms of leadership. So going a bit beyond the delivery or tactical to more strategic tasks. So that's what I'm looking at currently. So I'm pivoting all of that between all of this. So it's just to say again that wherever you are in your career, you're allowed to pivot within your industry or outside of it. And of course, I've worked in several industries, mostly around finance, but also in ed tech, a bit of gov tech and digital tech. So I'd say that if you're starting out in tech, and even if you're unsure if you will stay in tech forever, it's okay just know that the skills you're building are transferable, even if you pivot later on. Number two is for my girlies. Think I'm really grateful for. Everybody may not align with this, but I'm grateful for this, and this is the fact that I started working before getting into relationships. I know in uni, especially in your final year, a lot of people are like, I'm in a relationship, and it's like maybe you're the only one not in a relationship and you're feeling bad for yourself. Well, I'm grateful that I took a bit of time because it allowed me to focus, and I was able to build my career for a number of years before getting into a relationship. And now that I'm married, I have a baby. Look, I'm very grateful. Now, some people will instead have their babies earlier, get into a relationship, get married, have the babies earlier, and then start building your career. If that works for you, it's lovely. But I think for me, it allowed me to focus. I was able to achieve a lot of things quickly. Learned I was quite an independent girl, living by myself, working in tech, but also doing a lot of things outside of tech. So I didn't have responsibility for my partner, for a baby. I was able to do a lot of things, and then I built relationships that would of course help me as I grow. So if you're thinking about it, that maybe you're not in a relationship, you're feeling bad, don't feel bad. You'll still be in a relationship, it's all right if you want to be, right? But just like build, focus, build, and allow yourself to thrive. So if you're building your career already before getting into a relationship, you sort of have a sense of how your life is looking like. And somebody is not going to kind of say, this is how your life must look like. They are going to align with the vision you have and the vision they have. So it's such that you guys are aligned, co-aligned with your vision. So if you don't have a vision in terms of like how you want your career to be, how you want your life to be, and you're in a relationship, and you're in a relationship, you may not have a say as to how the direction of your life should go, But yeah, let's stop on that. So number three is have a life outside of work. Now, a lot of people, especially tech folks, developers, we have our head in work, and sometimes we don't come up for air for like a long time in terms of like being social, going to events, volunteering. And trust me, these things are needed. So have a life outside of work. You don't have to have another work outside of work, but in terms of like volunteering, being a part of a community, writing, sharing your knowledge, definitely, please do this, because for me this has helped me. I had and I still have several things I do outside of work. At some point I was running volunteering organization. At some point I was coordinating event, had like an event brand for young people, and then I was volunteering actively. And all of these have come together to help me to where I am now and position me for opportunities. And like, I write, I have the blog that I've been running for. The blog is also going to be 10 years this year. Wow. So I have a life outside of work. Let's keep it short. So the next thing that I'm going to say is it's okay to have many hats or wear many hats. And now this means that something I touched on earlier. Sometimes they want us to be like just one thing in life. I feel like a lot of people, we think that this is not necessary. If you feel like you are a multi-potentialite, you have you're able to thrive doing many things, then please don't limit yourself. Of course, don't take on too much at a time so that you don't burn out. But if you're able to do 2-3 things at the same time, then it's okay. Like I mentioned, all through my career, as I've been in tech, I've been a blogger for this long as well. I build websites. I don't do it for a lot of people, but I do build websites on the side. It's related to tech. But outside of tech, I coordinate things in church. I'm an active person in my church, building my faith, So yeah, it's okay to do several things. You don't have to fit into one particular box. So you can be a doctor and a model. Why not? You can be an actor and a techie. You can be anything you want to be, really. So whether you're a lady, a guy, whatever, don't be put into a particular box. All right. The fifth one is friendship and community. Guys, this is so important. It's helped my life. One of my greatest gifts is the gift of community, and I'm super grateful for everyone in my circle. And this circle, again, to talk about community, it doesn't have to be one. I've got like boxes of communities in church for certain things, and I've just realized that this is the way to do life. You can't do life alone. As young people, you're just want to live life. You have to be a part of a community. And you can start from your church, if you're not very social. But of course, you have to be someone who you have to add value to community too. So not just like, I want to be a part of community just so I can benefit from it, but also like contributing to people's lives. And it doesn't have to be like money, it can be like checking in, you know, volunteering to help with something, adding value somewhere. So build the kind of friendships where you can be vulnerable, where you can celebrate your wins without jealousy, okay? Where you need quick cash, somebody can help you sometimes. Where you can pray, cry, laugh, and brainstorm together. So check in with your friends, like I said, celebrate them, pray for and with them, and then let people show off. And then learn to receive love, because I've realized if you're someone who likes to help people too, sometimes you don't tend to receive the love yourself. And I've learned over the years to also receive this love, and it's helped me with my book launches. My community would show up, whichever project I would do. So yeah, be a part of community. It's important. Then the next thing I would say is faith and finance. So faith is important, and if you know me, I'm vocal about my faith because I can't be here without my faith. Like, I can't be here literally, because life will show you a lot of things. I've realized I'm recording this video in portrait and not landscape. I'm going to upload it like this, okay? And it's going long, so bear with me. So grow deep in your faith. You gotta have something you believe in. You can't tell me you don't believe in anything. You believe in something that you're not believing in. Right? So grow your faith and grow your finance. As a goal, as a guy, as anybody, get financially literate. Join communities, save, invest. It's important. You gotta have some money. All right, the next thing is where you work matters. I've worked in several companies over the years. I've been a bit of moving from one place to another. And two companies, I'm not going to mention them, stand out in my mind. When you ask me the best places I've worked at, two immediately come to mind. And these places have been instrumental in my growth. Now, sometimes it's not about the company. Sometimes the company may not be great, may not have a great culture of, like, from the outside, but you can work in a super amazing team. Well, I say, before you take a job, try to do your research. I know in the beginning phase, like, you just want to get a job in, but as you grow in your career, you want to first do your research. What's the culture of the team you're going to join? Who is the team lead there? Do you know how they work? Ask people around, and pray also. Let God lead you, right? So for instance, I was not going to mention, but when I worked at FCM before, instance, it was quite a big organization, but the team I worked with, oh my God, amazing people. I'm still in touch with a number of them till now. My boss then has opened the way for me in many places, right? And so it's important, the kind of place you work at matter. All right. The next one is people who don't come from like a varied background, breaking barriers. You have to give yourself grace, right? If you're someone who come from a place, maybe from like a poor background, your journey may not be as smooth as someone who come from a place where they have like support, right? So for instance, when I started my career, as a young girl in tech, people were like, you have money, but I know the bills I've got to take care of. We call it black tax now, right? But I know where I'm coming from, so I can't just I'm balling. I've got responsibilities, okay? Right, so you have to give yourself grace. Your own journey may not be as smooth as others, but with time, you will make progress, you see. So what I'm going to say is, it may take longer for you to break through. You may need to learn things from scratch. You may need to face a lot of no's before you break through, yes, but don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going, right? Because you're breaking cycles, you're building something new, you're setting a pace for your family and for generation to come. So even if you're like a first generation immigrant, for instance, you're going to face some hustle, but keep going, stay consistent, and it gets better. This video is going too long, so I'm just going to wrap up to say that as you journey, put God first. Of course, build community, give yourself grace, and allow yourself to pivot, do a lot of things if you want to, and just grow and have fun while living. I forgot to mention that. I like to have fun. Now, fun doesn't have to be like maybe going to parties, doing things that you like. Whether you like hiking, whether you like going on adventure, trying out food, reading, joining a community. Have fun, please. This life is too short for us to carry all the world on our head. So that kind of thing, you get to have fun. And for me, like I said, I've moved again. My life has moved. I'm starting all over in a new country, quote and unquote. And it's been challenging to an extent, but the values I brought from the past have brought me here. And I know that they will carry me going, of course, with God in the center. So I'm saying to you that lean deeply to your faith, build with audacity and flexibility, prioritize what really matters, and trust God to lead you one step at a time. Thank you for coming to this podcast. I'm not sure I'm going to share it yet, but I'm happy to have shared this with you. Really happy to be back, hopefully, by God's grace. Remember, you are not behind, you are not alone, and the process is shaping you. Okay, so take your time, take your steps, and never stop learning. Thank you for listening to this episode of Heart to Art with Attitude. If this has blessed you, please share with someone. I'll definitely share a blog post edition of this too, so definitely read it and share with people in your circle. What else would you like me to talk about in the coming days? Tell me in the comment section. Till I come your way again, I am Esther or Attitude, and catch you later. Bye bye.